Hello and welcome back to another one. And while many Eminem fans were waiting for an interview or performance related to his latest album, Eminem surprised fans once again by performing at the Oscars that was unrelated to his latest album. But these kind of things have a ripple effect, and Eminem's albums on streaming platforms and digital stores all received a huge boost due to his Oscar performance. Lose Yourself blasted to #1 on the singles chart on iTunes, and Music to Be Murdered By shot up to #1 for albums. Win-win for everyone. But Eminem's only interview of 2020 so far is an exclusive with Variety that was done over the phone after Eminem's performance at the Oscars, and one bit of the interview stood out, and that's the focus of this video today. Later on, we'll also talk about how Eminem's performance was the most loved performance of the show, but first let's talk about Eminem throwing some shade at the Grammys once again. Just before we get to that, remember to check out my previous video where I clarified Martin Scorsese's reaction to Eminem's performance thanks to an update by his daughter Francesca. So if you missed that one, check it out now at the link that pops up at the top right corner, and remember to also like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. So Eminem cleaned out his closet in regards to how he felt about the Grammys in his Kamikaze interview with Sway, and it looks like he's not done dissing the Grammys. In the Variety interview, this is what Eminem had to add on how he felt about award shows like the Grammys. In response to the question, last night's performance certainly was a surprise. How did it all come together and why this year? Eminem answered, "I kind of figured, maybe since I didn't get the chance to do it at the time, maybe it would be cool. Back then, I never even thought that I had a chance to win, and we had just performed Lose Yourself on the Grammys with The Roots a couple of weeks before the Oscars, so we didn't think it was a good idea. And also, back at that time, the younger me didn't really feel like a show like that would understand me. But then when I found out I won, that's crazy. That to me shows how authentic and real that award is. When you don't show up and you still win, that makes it very real to me." Now, it doesn't take a genius to know that Eminem here is clearly taking shots at the Grammys and how they got him to attend in the past, with hints that he may win the coveted Album of the Year award, which is kind of a big deal for artists. And according to Eminem, they lure you to the show, giving you hope, and then use you to promote lesser known artists, and if you don't show up, you've got no chance. Now, this makes more sense as to why Kamikaze wasn't even nominated for any album awards, because Eminem made it clear that he's not attending the show anymore, so the Grammys didn't bother including it, which was something a lot of fans found odd since Kamikaze received praise across the board. Next up is about Eminem's Oscar performance, and many outlets initially tried to spin the news that people were confused rather than excited that Eminem performed at the awards, but the facts painted a different picture, as Eminem's performance was the top social moment of the show based on online activity, and little did Eminem detractors know that by talking about his performance on social media, they were giving Eminem a win in the process, because it all adds up to online activity, whether negative or positive. Now, Billboard asked readers to vote on the most loved performance of the night, and Eminem came out on top by a landslide on that one, with 74% of the votes with Lose Yourself. So top social moment and top performance by a landslide for Eminem at the Oscars, and like I said before, his latest album has received a considerable boost due to this performance. Music to Be Murdered By, 8 Mile soundtrack, The Eminem Show, Curtain Call, Kamikaze, MMLP, and Recovery are all in the top 200 on the US iTunes top albums across all genres of music. And on Spotify, Eminem is on the verge of crossing 50 million monthly listeners, which is mind-blowing to say the least. It stands at 49.5 million at the moment. So that will be all for today. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't, and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think about the effects this performance has had on promoting Eminem's projects? Since radio and the media wouldn't do it, performing at the biggest award show of the year was a genius move in my opinion to get the word out there.